Well, good afternoon, everybody. I guess we should have used the Accardo Center instead of this room. Wow. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 60 plus across. Yeah, we're getting close to 80. We had 80 RSVPs, and looks like we're going to be very close to which the capacity of this room is 72 for dining. So let's hope we don't have to evacuate. All right, so just a couple of housekeeping things. Please silence your phones if you haven't done so already. And we are recording this. We'll put it up on the web for people who would like to review it, or for those who can't attend. I'll be sending out a link in a few days once we get it posted. So, on the agenda, or before that, welcome and welcome back. I noticed some new faces, I think. So if this is your first time at a union meeting here, if you're new to the campus, whatever, welcome. And we hope things go well for you. Catherine Plunkett here is our chief steward. And those of you who are probationary employees working towards permanence, please give Catherine a shout, and she'll have some good information for you on how to make sure that you achieve permanency. It's a 12-month process, and for the most part it goes pretty well, we found, but you may run into a sticking point now and then. So Catherine will be happy to help you through that. Okay, so on the agenda, we've had a change in the executive committee. Lori Hazlip, who was our secretary, had to step down due to some family commitments, and we are in need of a secretary. It's not much work, not much time involvement. If anybody's interested in it, please let me know. And I'm looking right at Kathy Lund. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but you're one of the people who came to mind. Anyway, please give us a hand. As I say, you know, it's not much work. It's we turn on a recorder for our official meetings, and whoever is the secretary takes that recorder back to their office, and when they have time, not on the clock, does a summary, not a direct transcription, but a summary of the meeting's proceedings for the minutes, gets them typed up and sent out for approval, and attends an executive committee meeting once a month for about an hour. So as you see, it's not very much work. But we can't operate the chapter without someone taking official minutes. So that's why we need somebody. Really? Yay! Thank you. I have to go through an appointment process with the executive committee's approval, but I don't anticipate any problems there. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. You approve? Yeah, great.
I do too.
That's 3, that's 4.
Not executive, who else?
Good,
Jamie.
done. Jamie can't be here, so we have 4, done. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so because of that situation with Lori having to step down, we do not have the minutes from the May meeting, but we'll get those put together, and they'll be on the agenda for our next membership meeting, which will probably be in early December. And then we'll put them up there for approval along with the minutes from this meeting. So we can skip that one. President's report, I've kind of done it. there's not a lot happening right now. We seem to be in pretty good shape now that there's more money coming into the system. Just to recap, the trustees requested 200 something million dollars, 240, I think it was, $245 million above last year's allocation of state funds. Governor Brown, that was in like November of last year that the trustees requested that. Governor Brown in his his January proposed budget cut that by something like 90 million. So he was only proposing 157 million, I think it was, above last year's state allocation. There was a lot of pressure put on Governor Brown and the legislature by various groups, including us. And in the May revision, Governor Brown came up to the full request that the trustees had made. So he changed his proposed allocation to the full 245 million or whatever it was. And the legislature then approved that. So we got everything that the trustees had determined was necessary to not only operate the system, but to catch it up, to begin to catch it up to where it should be. We're far from where it should be, but we're starting to make some inroads. And so things are going along pretty well. We still have representation issues, and Catherine's going to talk about some of those. And obviously everybody needs a raise. Anybody here not need a raise? Okay, good. Glad to hear it. You should have gotten, if you were on permanent payroll on July 1st of this year, you should have gotten 2% over the previous checks gross. So we'll get another 2% on July 1st of next year also. But again, you have to be on payroll on July 1st. If you're a new hire and you were hired after July 1st, sorry, that's not what the CSU agreed to. One thing came to my attention. CFA apparently is taking a strike vote, and they want, I forget, what is it, like 7? They want 5%? Okay. They're asking for 5% plus an additional 2 for longevity, I think it is.
Yeah, we wouldn't get that.
The what?
We wouldn't get that.
Yeah,
For the B2.
probably. I don't know. We're,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you're right. There's 5 plus the 2 point something for the longevity. That's what they're asking for.
You may recall the current contract that we are under right now has a side letter that we bargained and that the CSU agreed to. And that side letter says, regardless of the salary increases that were already part of the agreement, if CFA bargains something higher than what we've already bargained, we tag along and we get the same percentage. So, those of us who work in academic programs with faculty members we'd rather not work with, put that aside. Support CFA in their drive to get an increase, because it means we will get an increase too.
Wait,
Okay.
is that on top of the 2%?
That will be on top of.
And that's for July this year. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure about that, Linda, but what I think it's on top of. Or maybe it would be the difference. If we got 2% this year and they got 5% for this year, we would get an additional 3%. I mean,
A side letter or something, maybe.
yeah, it is. It's page 121. So either way, 2% is almost nothing. For the average person who works in the CSU, a 2% gross increase is like $54 a month or something like that. And you got to figure a good portion of that is going to go to taxes. But still, 2% is far better than nothing. In the current contract, we're looking at more than a 7% increase over the 3 years and compounded. When you compound it, it worked out to be 7.3% or something like that. So if you were hired when the current contract took effect, and you are still on payroll on July 1st next year, you will see a better than 7% increase to your base salary. Total. And if you happen to get one of the salary adjustment increases that just happened, that'll be added into there too. So, and we are pushing the president. If you were at University Day, I kind of called the president out. I didn't really mean to, but put him on the spot. Put him on the spot, and he, in his typical fashion, he didn't commit to anything. But I think his intent is, if the money is there, that program will continue. So people who are eligible in the coming year should see a similar increase. Okay, so that's all I've got. We'll go to the treasurer's report next, Chris.
So on the back of the agenda is the treasurer's report. And we haven't spent any money all summer. So all I have is just the estimated what we're spending today. So I just estimated high for $500, and we should end October with $4,999.98. So that's where we're at. We didn't spend any money yet, so thank you.
Any questions for Chris? Okay, thank you. Catherine, Chief Steward's report.
And Frank. Okay, since our last meeting, we've had newer and better questions about evaluations. A lot of evaluations, Article 10 questions coming in. I invite you to read that article. It's not very long, and it's very, very helpful if you run up against something that you don't agree with on your evaluation. We have questions about hostile work environment, and we're usually able to help smooth things out. We work with HR on that because we found most of the time it's a supervisor that needs just a little bit more training. And so on the agenda, I'm going to go on into position description program update. The position description comes out of Article 17, and I invite you to read that as well. Many years ago, when Pete was in HR, management agreed to do a position description workshop or project because probably 95% of us did not have a position description in our official HR file, and the contract calls for that. And as a side note, if you are reassigned duties, if you have a position description already but your job changes, you need to update your position description. And it's all lined out in the contract. If you have questions, call any one of the stewards. www.csueu.org. You can call anybody at that office if you don't want to discuss things here in the nest. We pride ourselves in keeping confidentiality, and if you find that's not the case, please report it to us. Okay, I did speak with Kelly Zubia this morning, and just to ask her for an update on the position description project. She said it's coming right along. The project is being handled by areas and departments. When we first started this project, it was just Unit 7, so I was surprised to learn that Unit 2, Unit 5, Unit 9, all of you guys have been turning in your position descriptions, and Kelly didn't have any numbers to report yet, but she said they're going to check and see which supervisors are lacking and send out names and ask them to send their employees to the training if you haven't gone already. And if you just really don't want to go to the training, then your supervisor will be tasked with writing your position description. If there's not one in your file, he or she will be tasked with updating it if you do have one in the file. So how many of your supervisors, I want to see a show of hands, knows what you do? Okay, I see like 5 people, 6 people out of this whole room. Oh, well, your position descriptions have been updated though.
They have.
Hasn't Nancy been keeping those up to date?
Not that I know of. She told us to write them, but I haven't had time to do mine because so.
Okay, well, I thought she had been keeping them up to date. Okay.
I don't think so. We did go to the training.
Okay, good. Let's see. So, back to Kelly Zubia's report. She said that we have 3 outside classifiers that are familiar with the CSU system. The Chancellor's Office Classification, Qualifications, and Standards. That's CQ and S. You can find those on the Chancellor's Office website. If you have a problem, email me and I'll send you the link. So we have 3 classifiers that are working diligently on it. She sends 10 position descriptions to each classifier, and when she gets those back, she sends what amounts to 30 back out. So 30 at a time, and if it's determined that there will be changes to your classification, or maybe even, what's the level thing?
In class.
Step, in class, thank you. Then you will get an official memo, and it will be sent to your appropriate administrator to be held in the department for future people. So like if you move on, then they know what your job, what that desk is supposed to look like, or what your assignment is supposed to look like. If there are no changes, you will get your position description back, and it will be stamped so you know that HR has seen this, and it will be emailed as an attachment in a PDF And she's asking that you change that to Word and make sure that that also stays in the department. So that's, a little bit of help that we can give. Do you have any questions?
I did. If ours has been submitted, and the position, obviously mine needed to be removed because it was completely new. How long does that take? How do we find out where it is in the process? Is there a way to find that out, or?
In Article 17, it's assignment and reassignment. And 17.2 says a copy, 17.3. If a position description is to be altered, the employee shall be provided with a copy of the altered position description at least 7 days prior to its effective date. I think we missed the boat on yours. And maybe some other people.
It's submitted to HR. How long after HR receives it, if it's because it has to be reviewed, how long does it take to get back from the classifiers?
That's not specified in the contract, but we would expect a timely response. I would guess 90 days.
I don't know if she's only sending 30, well, possibly 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Is it, should I expect 30 days, 60 days?
Wait a minute. Scott was next. Oh, really? June, July, August, September, 5 months. Okay, well, it never hurts to send Kelly Garcia an email and ask her, what is the status of my, okay, Scott was next.
Mine was the same question. I put mine in over a month ago.
A month?
I wouldn't expect anything.
I wouldn't expect anything till Christmas, maybe. Yes, Dwayne.
Not for me, for a person in our office. When they combine the two concepts of writing this evaluation, the position description, and you're also trying to get a reclassification, you now have to route that through your supervisor. When I did mine, for example, I could take it straight to HR, right?
No.
Even though I didn't. Wasn't I allowed to do that?
Because
what's happened now is my boss is sitting on this person's and hasn't turned it in, so she's just being put off more and more and more months worth of time.
Reclassification or the position description?
Okay, I hear two things going on. If an employee wants to request a classification review in the hopes of being reclassified, you can turn that in directly to HR, a copy of it. But you have to turn in the original, and it has to route up through your administrators.
The time starts when she turns it into HR. That's when the time starts. If he sits on it for 6 months, then she's delayed. That doesn't seem fair.
It still starts when she turns it in to HR. And that's why we tell people, make 3 copies. If you're going for a reclass, make 3 copies. The original goes to your supervisor, you keep a copy, and 1 copy is turned in at HR. And when you go to HR, take your copy and their copy, have them date stamp both. And so this really is a benefit to HR because they are held to the timelines in the contract, and they need to know what's out there and what they should be looking for, and nudging supervisors or deans and saying, we're running out of time. You need to get that into us so we can get it out to the classifier.
Okay. I'll pass that on.
But for the position description, we did have an instance where a supervisor, management, did not turn in the employee's position description. And we were able to negotiate a retroactive date. I don't know that we would be able to do that every time, so don't wait. If you turn in your position description to your dean or your supervisor, go back in a week and ask them, have you turned that into HR?
this person has done that twice now, and, oh, I'm gonna get to it, never got to it.
Okay, tell him or her to call us.
Okay.
Thank you. And CTO and vacation. Okay, everybody, I invite you to read Article 14, vacation, how many hours you can carry over without ceasing to accrue at the first of the year. That's how it works. You don't really lose anything, you just stop accruing. I think I understand that right. And Frank is my
Back up.
yeah, my backup, my muscle. Okay, CTO is Article 19.9 through 19.16. You really need to read 19.11 as far as the maximum to carry over. And that's all I have to report.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We do have, come over here.
On the CTO and vacation accruals, if you are close to losing or not being able to accumulate any more hours, now's the time to send a written request to use those hours before the end of the year. And if they deny it, then you're able to carry more over, okay? If you wait till the last minute and you don't do anything about it, then you're out of luck. But if you start asking now, and they're gonna say, well, we can't afford to, to cut you loose, then that allows you to carry more over, okay?
And we do have, Frank, we have a couple of meet and confers that probably will be going on the campus. Take it.
Yeah, we've been noticed by the Chancellor's office that they want to do a couple things, a couple of changes. One is they want to centralize printing of documents on campus. And I think what they have in mind is, like all of you that have printers in your offices, they want to get rid of those and just have large computers at central locations where people have to go and do the printing. And we know that's going to be a mess. And along with that, there's a potential for loss of revenue for the print shop. So there's a lot of questions we have. So we are going to be scheduling what's called a meet and confer, where the Chancellor has to come down and we have our bargaining team, and we will ask all these questions and try to come up with some kind of agreement as to that will not cause any loss of jobs or anything of that nature. One of the questions that we've already put out there that they've responded to is, well, what's going to happen to the techs that right now take care of the printers? And they said, well, some of them will have to be retrained in the same classification, and already that's, setting off some buzzwords to our bargaining team. So that's one meet and confer. The other has to do with grounds. They want to have all grounds employees wear uniforms, pants and shirts, and they will be paid for. And we have some questions, but because they can make that a term and condition of their employment, and what they're talking about is safety, especially people that are spraying insecticides and all these other things. So that's not going to be as contentious a meet and confer, but that is also going to be taking place sometime, hopefully before the end of the year.
I neglected to introduce Frank earlier, I'm sorry. Frank Polito is our labor relations representative. He is one of the staff members employed by the union to serve us. And he's assigned to this campus, Fresno, and San Luis Obispo. So that's who Frank is.
So your dues pay my salary.
And he's worth it.
Okay, well, we're running up against the clock here. Shelley has some comments about organizing.
Hi, I'm Shelley. I'm the vice president of our union. There's a lot of new faces in here, so I wanted to give some additional information with regard to what having membership in the union means. There's power in solidarity. We have power in numbers, and the stronger we are, the stronger up the chain it goes to get what we want. Vacation, time off, raises, so forth and so on. You have the right to vote in statewide and local union elections, including on your contracts. You have representation for disciplinary as well as contractual issues and assistance with work-related issues that are not covered by the contract. There's education assistance through CSEA, California State Employees Association. Employees are eligible for a variety of education assistance programs, including grants, scholarships, and reimbursements. Being a member offers low fee insurance programs, including renters, auto, travel, life, disability, cancer, long-term care, and pet insurance. And then there's discounts. You get discounts being a member of the union, and on the website, do we have it on here?
Is it www.csea?
CalCSUEU.
Oh, CalCSEA.
www.calcsa.
CSEA. CalCSEA.
CalCSEA.org. Thank you. And you can see the discounts and the other benefits that I may not have mentioned. There's also a death benefit to your family ranging from $1,000 to $3,000 depending on how long you've been with the union. Fee payers only get representation on contractual issues. So being a member gets you a lot more good stuff and a lot more protection.
For pennies.
What?
For pennies.
For pennies on the dollar too. I'm not kidding you. We're talking 2 cents a month depending on. If you want, for those of you who are new, if you want to see a schedule of what the absolute pennies difference it would be to become a member, I'm at extension 6263. I'm Shelley Carson. Give me a call and I'll make sure you get a copy of that. Okay? We got in some new membership cards. So when I read your name, if you're here, come get it. Therese Dozier.
Oh, on to you.
Thank you. Jennifer Jackson. Jenna Lords. Yeah. No, Jenna. Michelle, is it Lujan? Larry Fernandez. Maricela Sanchez Ruiz. Anybody have any questions? Okay. If anybody here is new and you want to look at the packet, it actually has the percents chart that you would pay additional if you were to become a member. It has a membership card, it has a packet of information. They'll be up here front. Does anybody want one now?
Yes, back there.
Anyone else? I have some in my office if you want to come get one and you're not comfortable raising your hand here. So I'm at Faculty Towers 103A.
Okay, thanks, Shelley. When we adjourn, before you leave, please take leftovers. So we don't want to have to do something else with it. Okay, so I just have one more thing to, just one more thing to talk about. There are a couple of new ballot measure proposals for next year's election that are coming up. They are out there now, and their goal is to attack pensions of public employees. One of those goals, or one of the initiatives, would limit the amount of money that employers can pay into pensions. And what it would do is put an 11% of an employee's, it would put a cap of 11% of an employee's salary, gross salary, on the amount of contributions that the employing agency can make. I don't know what we get here. I think I heard 9% or something like that is what the CSU contributes to CalPERS for our, and then we kick some money in too. Out of each of us kicks in a little bit too. So we get more than whatever this cap is, this 11%. But it's quite concerning that anybody would want to cap that at such a low rate. Excuse me, shouldn't have had that soda. We all work hard, right? None of us, we already agreed earlier that none of us gets paid enough. Why should we have to have our retirement limited to? I don't know about you, but I do not have, I have CalPERS, and I've got Social Security, whatever that amounts to. And that's it. I have not put any money into an IRA. And, you know, some of you I'm sure were smarter than I was, but anyway, on top of that, you know, it's just, this is our future, right? Our retirement is our future. And some of us are getting pretty close to retirement. Even if you're not getting close to retirement, you should be thinking about it. And I strongly urge you, put away a little bit every month, despite or on top of CalPERS and Social Security. The initiative that would cap contributions would not apply to anybody who's currently employed. It would only apply to new hires after 2019, I believe it is. Nonetheless, it's an attack on our retirement. It's an attack on public employees. So if the initiative comes your way, I don't believe it's in the signature gathering phase yet, but if and when it reaches that point and you see it, I strongly urge you to think very hard about whether you would sign it or not. There's another one, another initiative that would essentially it would shut down CalPERS for new employees. They would not be able to contribute to CalPERS or CalSTRS, the state teachers retirement system. It would force contributions to go into IRAs owned by the private sector, which are prone to market swings. So if that one comes your way, I would strongly suggest that you, again, think very hard about what you want to do in terms of damaging or preserving the retirement stability that we now have. There was another initiative that I'm not sure where it is exactly. It was started some time ago, several months ago, and it was I don't know exactly what the goal of it was, but it was a major attack on retirement also. It kind of has fizzled. I don't believe enough signatures have been gathered yet to put it on the ballot. But at any rate, the backers have kind of backed off and they put their energy into these other two as well, or instead of. So that's kind of where we are, folks. You know, these attacks are out there every day. I don't think we want California to become another Wisconsin, do we? No. Once, if any of these attacks on retirement are successful, the next thing that's going to be gone after is our right to bargain collectively. So beware. Okay, thank you all very much. Have a good year. We'll have another meeting in December.